Hi friends, welcome to class. Russell West here and welcome to Community Shaping Leadership. It's June 11th. The classroom's now open. In it you'll find a revised syllabus and a revised course plan. Let me tell you why that is. The doctoral office called me about a month ago to say, hey, with the public crisis, everything's got to go online. So a course which was going to happen live and relied upon a different kind of work processing that you would do needed to be brought online. And I needed to engage you in a way that would have achieved the same objective. So a lot of redesign had to occur. This is what I think I have for you, and I think you're going to enjoy it. I've laid out the next 12 weeks to follow a certain pattern. Every week, you'll come together on the first day of class, the third day of class, and the sixth day of class. That's Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Every week for the next 12 weeks or so. In each week, you've got the same task that you will do. On Monday, by midnight on Monday night, you'll do a journal note. I'll post a question, a probe of some kind, inviting you to sort of weigh in. The weigh-in will include some citations from your reading that's going on that you, at that point, would just have opened up. So it's not going to be deep. It's going to be fairly light response. But you're going to weigh in on that particular probe. The Wednesday piece will be the big threaded discussion. Most of your online courses, if you've had them before, has some place where everyone gets to chat together. Well, that's going to be midweek by midnight. And instead of you generating an original essay, I've created a form for you that will give you a chance to give a narrative case. Narrative will move in four sort of steps. Once upon a time, ends with happily ever after, that sort of mindset. You'll see it on the form. It'll make sense, I hope. By Saturday night, we're going to do something called a jam session. Look up VoiceThread. VoiceThread.com may get you there quicker. But I'm going to use VoiceThreads as an experimental piece to allow you to do some reports from the field. You see, when I've taught this class for the last, 8 or 9 years, I've done it in Korea. All the preparation was for folks to be ready for a cultural immersion, and I would have done shepherding work to help folks see the kinds of things that are hiding in plain sight inside of an organizational setting. We don't have that possibility now. We do have as many different social contexts as there are members of the class. So the possibility of hearing from parts of Africa, parts of Asia, parts of South America, throughout the United States, throughout Europe, with the kinds of cohort members that we have, I think we are going to have a rich session. That's why I'm calling it a jam session. The other thing that makes it a jam session is you get to pick which form you're going to participate in the jam session. A voice thread is something like what a school teacher, of young children might do if they're going to the zoo. The teacher may have a rope. He holds the rope at the front. The kindergartners all hang on to it together, and the teacher's assistant holds the end of the rope, and they work through the zoo together and keep everyone together. Well, the thread sort of functions like that. I and an assistant, I'll tell you about him in a minute, will kind of hold the thread for you each end, and you will weigh in using the many different ways that VoiceThread allows you to do it. You can do the conventional typed text-based response, but you could do a video response, an audio response. Maybe a document is more your liking, or there's a website or a video piece that you want us to go take a look at. But we want you to be creative. We want it to be critical, so it's grounded in some of our literature. We really don't want to just hear your opinions because there's plenty of that going on around the world. Who can speak to facts and evidence and make a critical argument? That's what the world needs now, and I'm going to be working with you so that you're more of what the world needs going forward. So that's how our week will roll. Day 1, day 3, day 6. Get that rhythm in your body, relax into it, get your work done, and get out of there. My hope is that you won't need midnight. My hope is that you definitely won't use Sunday. I am trying to set up a work week that has you doing light work, but consistent work over a period of time. So it's more of a formational effort that I'm after. Well, how then shall we proceed? I've organized the course in 3 big movements: engaging, embodying, expressing. Engaging is going to be getting the conceptual foundations around leadership and community. That's the first couple of weeks or so. This is where you begin your reading right now. I want to test the proposition that love is the dynamic that dominates every organization. Now, everyone should have sat back in their chairs for a second. You're like, you don't know my organization. No, it's not filled with love. It's the way you're thinking about love, my friend. So I'm going to introduce love as a value which has the potential of permeating an organization. Now remember, there are lower loves and there are higher loves. It's happening at your organization right now. I can walk around your place right now and know what your heart is because I'll see what your treasure has invested in. You getting it? You can't hide your values if you've got a calendar around your place. I can go to your website, spend about 15 minutes, and I can go, they value people that all look like them. You're saying, well, that's not fair. It's like, it's not fair, but it is observable. And what we want to do is make sense of the observable world as love shows itself. Love is something like a priority. If you say to me that you have a different priority than what can be found visibly around your place, then you're just telling me you have a different, you aspire to a different priority. But what we want to do is see that there are alignments through our organization so that what we say is our priority, it shows up in our projects. It shows up in our practices. It shows up in the very posture that we maintain. So, go with me on an adventure to see if love can animate leadership and if that kind of leadership can animate an organization to its better self. This way, organizations speak the way human lives speak. Now, I've got to make the case for that, but I'm asking you to have an open mind and to come play with me around this. Now, what are a few other features I want you to know about? I want to introduce Josh Gale to you. He's agreed to be a course host. He's going to handle prayer requests and questions you may have and help with a few technology things before he sends you off to the help desk if he's not able to help. He's going to pretty much help us keep it together. I'm going to focus on the course conversation. I'm doing lots of video work behind the scenes and design work, and I'm going to do my dead level best to surprise you with this class tightening around the things you care about more and more and more. So Josh is going to join us about midweek as the first posts come through. A couple other things is there are two different programs that show up inside of this class. There's a PhD in organizational leadership and its members, and a Doctor of Ministry with Doctor of Ministry learners in a cohort inside of the classroom as well. These two different doctoral degrees, because they're different, have different objectives. A PhD is an academic terminal degree that requires a person to express bibliographic mastery and to contribute new knowledge to the community, to the academic community, the academy. The terminal degree for ministers, the doctor of ministry degree, requires a leader to conduct what the Association of Theological Schools calls an instance of pastoral analysis around a practice of ministry. Some particular practice and an analysis around it. So this class can accommodate both of those different program outcomes, and I'm going to try to help you each gain some structure and skills around your own dissertations. There's going to be a theme around observation, data collection, and analysis that I will model for you because I think it's going to add strength to the various intervention projects that you have. So you'll hear more about that later. Lastly, I want to see your faces. So next Tuesday night, June 18th, I believe it is, next Thursday night, June 18th, I'm going to open up a Zoom space and send out a link to you, and I'll be in that space at 6:15 Eastern time. Keep it open for about 30 minutes. It's come and go. It's Q&A. There's no content that I will prepare and try to advance there. And it is mandatory. You're like, wait a minute, I thought you said it's come and go. It is come and go. Come get your questions and feel free to slip out or hang around and hear what other people's questions are and what my answers would be to them. But the mandatory part works like this. Not everybody can make it there live in a synchronous way at that time, for sure. But I want you to get the recording that will generate and to weigh in on it. This is how you weigh in. You say, hey, Russ, you send me an email and say, hey, Russ, couldn't be there. I listened to it, and my evidence that I was there is Fred asked a question about the second book, and I appreciated your answer. Boom. It would just be a simple thing like that. That's how I'm going to take roll, and it is part of your participation grade. So join me, participate. I'd like to meet you. I will do another one the following Tuesday. I believe that is the 25th of June. Same time at 6:15 Eastern Time. So that's two times that are programmed right now for you to come and meet with me and do a little Q&A time. These first two are mandatory. Sometime in early July, I'll open up another one. It'll be more of a pop-up thing saying, hey, friends, what do you think about the next week or so? We shoot for another Thursday night. I'll do another one in early August. And those next two will deal more with the kinds of assignments that are coming up, making room for those. So be looking for that. Let me check my list here to see if there's anything else I want you to know. So it's June 11th today. The classroom's open. New syllabus is there. June 15th, the energy begins. Make sure you're looking at Mildred Weinkoop's Theology of Love and the texts that are article texts that are associated with it. Know this. I'm going to add a couple of extra articles because I've got the PhD org leadership with me in here. And these are going to provide us some vocabulary that will not only help us with the unity between the two programs and to talk about things in a common way, but there are social events unfolding around us and will continue to unfold through the summer that are going to have tremendous intensity, political intensity, cultural intensity. They're going to strain groups that are seeking to be expressive. And we've got to position ourselves as learners and leaders around some of that. So there's a couple of tools that I want to introduce that I think will be helpful to you as hermeneutical devices as everything is breaking out around us. My expectations around these new articles, which were not in the original syllabus, will be fairly light. But you're going to see me using the vocabulary from them and making a few arguments out of them that I will invite you to interact with. And it wouldn't be fair to you to not have access to the same mental construct or mental model that I'm using. So that's what its purpose will be. Consider it supplemental reading, but know that I'm going to be referring to it more carefully. So checking my list, I think that's just about everything I want to mention at this point. Welcome to class. Can't wait to meet you and to work with you. I'll see you in the